Hello everyone. Today's अपना topic is biological classification. Basically, it is used to classify or identify organism on the basis of morphological, physiological characters. So, one of the scientists is Aristotle. What Aristotle used? Basically, he classified the subdivision on the basis of morphological. What is morphological? It is basically the external experience of the plant or animal. So basically he used external appearance as the ground for the classification, right? So first is classify the plant. He classified the plants in the trees, shrubs and herbs. For example, trees are large in size, so all trees are placed in that category. That trees with few exemption, trees are large, they are woody, highly woody, right? Then shrubs and herbs. So these three subdivision of the plants, okay, they are described on the basis of morphology. Next is classify the animal. They are defined on the basis of RBC, which have RBC and who does not have RBC. Next is a Linnaeus. What is a Linnaeus? Give the two kingdom classification. One is Plantae, another is Animalia. And here point should be note that these features are not distinguished on the basis between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. What are prokaryotes? Prokaryotes which are not well-defined nucleus membrane, and they have also not well-defined membrane-bound organelles, where eukaryotes are very well-defined with very well-defined nucleus membrane and membrane-based organelles. Unicellular, multicellular, there is no distinction between what is unicellular, multicellular, or all placed together. Also photosynthetic, non-photosynthetic, photosynthetic which by using light photosynthesis they can make their food, and not photosynthetic which cannot make their food, like fungi, right? They are also placed together in the plant, okay, category. This type of classification is found inadequate, not right, because there are very internal differences. Like unicellular is basically which have one cell, multicellular is many cell. So this points should be classified or maybe different, but earlier they were placed together, okay. Next our scientist is R.H. Whitaker, who give the 5 kingdom classification. What are 5 kingdom? Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. What earlier? This is about what is earlier classification, what they did in earlier. Before R.H. Whitaker classification, they placed together bacteria, blue-green alga, fungi, gymnosperm, mosses, angiosperm, all placed together under plants on the basis of cell wall, okay, where prokaryotes are also placed with the eukaryotes. There is no distinction between eukaryotes, blue-green alga, these are placed together, like Calamadomna, Spirogera, placed together. Next, they also did not differentiate what is heterotrophic and autotrophic. Hetero means which are dependent on another for food source, like humans, animals, right? They are dependent on plants, yeah, another animal material for their food, which cannot make their own food. Where autotrophic, like green plants, yeah, green alga, which have ability to make their own food, that is autotrophic. There is also cell wall composition difference, which earlier was not clearly defined, like fungi which have chitin as a cell wall component, and green plant cell wall is cellulosic, but they are placed together, there is no distinction defined, okay. So we are going to talk about the now kingdom, 5 kingdom. First kingdom is kingdom Monera. In this all prokaryotes are considered. All prokaryotes means which does not have well-defined nuclear membrane, which does not have a cell organelle is defined. So this is considered monera. Next is protista, which have unicellular eukaryotes. Unicellular means single cell. Eukaryotes means well-defined organelle, right? Yeah, nuclear membrane. Well, single cell eukaryotes are found in kingdom protista, like Calamidomonas, chlorella, which have cell wall. They are placed together in the planta in earlier, not now. Now they are placed in protista. Paramecium, amoeba, that lack cell wall, placed in animal kingdom. But here they are now, these four are placed in kingdom protista. Okay. How we evolve the classification? On the basis of phylogenetic. What do you mean by phylogenetic? Phylogenetic means ancestral relation. How two different groups are ancestrally related. What are their relation? For example, human and gorilla, they are basically cousins. Okay, they are cousins. They have a very much similar DNA. So they are similar because of their ancestry, evolutionary relation. That's how with the DNA checking or sequences similarity, on the basis of that they check the phylogenetic relation between different groups. Okay. Next is kingdom monera. So in kingdom monera there is slowly bacteria. Okay. Most abundant, as we know, this is found everywhere. But they are also found in extreme environment. What do you mean by extreme? That they are found in hot spring, hot, like temperature is very high. They are talking about the hot water. Okay, well, where temperature is very high, which normal organism cannot live, which cannot survive. But they, due to different cell wall composition, these bacteria can survive. Desert, as we know, desert sand have very high temperature, right? But these bacteria can survive snow, deep ocean, and they also act as a parasite. What is parasite? Parasite are two types: ectoparasite, endoparasite. Ecto, which live on the host, outside the host. Endoparasite like worms हो गया, and these are live in the body of the host. These are types of the parasite. Now we are going about the how they are four groups are based on the basis of shape. What are their shape? Like coccus means spherical. These type spherical in round, similar spherical. Bacillus मतलब rod shape. They are rod like shape. This is rod shape. Next is vibrio means comma shaped. Comma shaped. This is how they look. Spirula, spiral like look. This is spirulum. Now we are going to talk about the structure. Structure of bacteria. They are very simple but behavior is complex. They have extensive metabolic diversity. Their metabolism has various diversity. Diversity means variation, very high, numerous differences. Okay. Next, some are autotrophic. We know that can make their own food. That is autotrophic. But they are also different on the how can they. What are the sources they are using to produce food? For example, photosynthesis means they are using light. For example, plants use sunlight as energy to form food. Chemosynthetic means they are using chemicals. Okay, they use chemicals to form food. Majorly are heterotroph, means they cannot make their own food, depend upon others, or they can depend upon dead organic material like leaf or any worm which is dead, any dead material, dung. They survive on dead and decaying material. Okay. Next is archaebacteria. This is a very special bacteria because they can live in harsh bacteria, harsh habitat, yeah, harsh condition. For example, halophile. What do you mean by halophile? Which the organism or the bacteria which can survive in salty, which has a high salt condition. Okay, that is halophile. Thermoacidophile. Thermo means temperature, that is related to temperature. Hot spring. The bacteria that can survive in high temperature is thermoacidophilus. Example is hot spring. Methanogens that can survive in marshy area. Okay. And here is they're telling why they are able to survive in harsh condition, because they have different cell wall composition. In archaebacteria, their cell wall found ether. Ether is found. Okay, that's why they have different cell wall structure. Normally there is a ester bond found, but in archaebacteria there is a ether bond, which is very strong bond, due to which they are able to survive in the harsh condition, extreme condition. Now we are going to talk about methanogens. It's gut area which have methanogens. They live in the body of ruminants. What is ruminant? Cows, buffaloes, their dung. In the dung of ruminant like cows, they found methanogens, methane producing bacteria, and there are many biogas plant methanogens which are used for various purposes. Next is eubacteria. What do you mean by eubacteria? That is true bacteria. And what are their characteristics? They have rigid cell wall. What is the feature of cell wall? Cell wall helps in surviving harsh conditions. That's why cell wall is found in plants, yeah, eubacteria, yeah, different bacteria. Rigid, hard cell wall. And they are motile, that's why flagella, which helps in motility or movement. So, what is the example? Cyanobacteria. Its name is blue-green alga, common, but called as cyanobacteria. In this, chlorophyll A is found. Chlorophyll is a pigment which help in the capturing the light for the food. In the plant, chlorophyll is found, and chlorophyll pigment is used to capture the light. They store the light in the bone, and this energy is further used to form food. That process is called photosynthesis. Okay. They are photosynthetic, autotrophous, unicellular, single cell, colonial. They live in groups. Freshwater, marine, terrestrial, कुछ भी हो सकता है. Okay. Next is gelatinous sheath. Their colonies are covered by a sheath that is a jelly-like gelatinous sheath. Heterocyst, that is very important character found in a cyanobacteria, is a heterocyst. They are special. Why they are special? Because they help in nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation, which is very important for soil fertility, yeah, for their growth. They also form a linkage with the plants. Okay, for example, nostoc, anabena. These are example of cyanobacteria which contain heterocyst. Okay. Next is chemosynthetic autotrophy. Chemo means chemical. Okay, chemical. Synthesis, मतलब chemical based synthesis. Autotrophy means chemical based food formation. That is chemosynthetic. Okay, and what they use, they oxidize the inorganic substance, for example nitrates or ammonia, and ATP is used for ATP production, means energy released during food formation. That energy is converted to ATP production. ATP is formed. Here recycling also occur for nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, sulfur nutrients recycled. Hetero, these are abundant. They basically decomposers, important decomposer like leaves हो गया और dead material हो गया, that's. And how they are helpful? Like we extract curd from milk, any antibiotic, nitrogen fixation. There are also active pathogens for crop, human, animals. There are many bacterial diseases found. Cholera, typhoid, tetanus, citrus, canker. These are examples of bacterial diseases. There are two types of reproduction. Asexual, without any sexual or gamete formation, that is asexual. And how the asexual reproduce? By using fission. Fission means division, just only division, no gamete formation. and they will form exact replica, because they will not two different gametes are not going to fuse. That's why there is no variation, and they going to form exact replica in asexual reproduction. Next is sexual, means DNA transfer occurs from one bacterium to another. For example, this is bacteria 1, this is bacteria 2nd. So this is going to transfer. For example, this is male and this is female. So from this bacteria male nuclei transfer to the female. Okay, and here fusion occur. This fusion is sexual, and it here fertilization occur. This is sexual reproduction. Here next is mycoplasma, that does not contain cell wall, smallest living cell without oxygen. They does not need oxygen for survival, and they are pathogenic. Next is kingdom Protista, which contains single cell eukaryotes, unicellular eukaryotes. Example: chrysophytes, dinoflagellate, euglenoid, slime, mold, and protozoan. They are primarily aquatic, means they live in aquatic water surface. Okay. Eukaryotes, well-defined nucleus membrane, well-defined organelles, bound organelles, membrane organelles. They have flagella, cilia. Reproduction. In Protista, there is both sexual and asexual reproduction, and here is zygote formation and cell fusion. Okay. Chrysophyte. They example is diatom, golden alga, which are also called desmids. They found in both fresh and marine water. They are microscopic, means with small size, and float in water current plankton. They are mostly photosynthetic, means they can form their own food. That means photosynthetic. Diatoms, they are covered by thin covering cell wall. They are made up of silica. Diatoms are made up of silica, and they also form diatomaceous earth. Okay, bye. Next, keep subscribing us, and if you like the channel, please follow forward. Thank you.